Here we are. The top of a pit. We have worked out the hypotenuse. The top of the pit is 60 foot above the dirt below. You've been led here by a bag of sand. The bag of sand that spoke to the desert knew that the dragon had made an entrance in the desert to get down into the crypt, into the ground, into the tunnels where it has called itself a lair, its home. The reason you're chasing this dragon, of course, is because you've made a pact with a white dragon that didn't really want to kill you, because somebody rolled extremely well in a persuade. Extremely well. It just couldn't have really asked for much better. And so the luck rewarded you. Instead of getting killed by the white dragon, you get the option of going up against and taking out the blue dragon. You're working for a dragon. Technically, you're doing a dragon's bidding. Karsat, your character, you Karsat, Mud, your character Karsat is a kobold and is somewhat beholden to the cult of a blue dragon. And
this is going well.
Yeah, and you find yourself up against a blue dragon by your own hand as well. This is the beautiful part of it.
Yeah.
There are much more fun things to do to characters in Dungeons and Dragons than kill them. So here we are at the edge of a pit, and indeed two of the characters have fallen in it, and in falling into the pit, the sand swirled, the rocks fell, and the sinkhole became alive with the sands swirling around and revealing the characters that we see before us. These things look to be of the sand. As the sand swirls around in the hole, the sink pit that you're in, and begins to settle, these forms step out of the swirling sands and come towards you. These figures, long arms, sand just swirling off them and leading back down to the ground, look at you and notice you there. They seem to all be facing you and closing in toward you very quickly. The noise has died down. You've got dust up your nose. You're blinking to get the dust out of your eyes. You're absolutely covered in the sand. You made a pretty good attempt at landing, so you didn't take too much there. And you are behind, or rather in front of there's a general bit of rocks and there might be some cover there should you choose, but from looking down, for those of you on the top of the pit, you're looking down on them and they're behind a large rock, and you kind of lose sight of Karsat just a little bit as you take a slight budge to the left and you see him just standing there behind this rock. So that rock that they're standing in front of is quite it's reasonably high. We did work out that it's about 70 foot range to the center of this map from the top, so that should hopefully inform some of the spellcasters and ranged attacks that we might want to do. Now, I don't believe that we actually did roll ourselves initiative, right? I don't think that happened. So that would be a good point to start tonight. That would be a good point to get us into what is about to happen. And because Aldo's not here, if Kylan dies, then that's nobody's fault. That's just unfortunate. That's just the roll of the dice.
You can't take credit.
And yeah, I've promised him all financial reward for every 10 hit points that they take him down. That wasn't true. That didn't happen. We are looking at the scene as the mist settles, the figures step out from the sand. I would like you all to select your tokens, please, and roll initiative. Oh, it happened. Kylon rolled higher initiative than Karsat.
It didn't. I get advantage after roll twice.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's not.
He does
yet.
as well. I think it does it automatically.
Okay, so you got 21. Yeah, there we go. Right, excellent. Okay. Okay. Right, so you're standing, and I'm going to order you descend in. You are on the ball. You are quick. You are fast. You are not put out by the fact that you've just fallen 60 foot. You appear to be ready to go. So what is Karsat's first move going to be?
Well, it seems like a trap, and these things don't look friendly. So Karsat will bolt off to the first one he sees. And he shoots. See if he can punch it. I'm gonna go with a no.
Yes. Despite having rolled well for your initiative, rolling a 1 isn't going to help you. So you cannot get a bead on these things. They swirl around. Your fist goes into a vortex of sand, and you punch nothing but air.
Second. Right.
Yeah, this having got the measure of it, you watch the pattern swirl in front of you, and you strike in a more solid part than you had aimed for at first. So yes, you have managed to get contact.
And can I make that lightning damage? See if it actually has an effect on a big thing of sand.
It certainly has some effect, but you just, you know from the experience that you have in fighting these things, you know you can see that the effect did not ripple as far as it should, and therefore you've taken some broad assumption that your attempt has not been as successful as it might have been.
Bonus action. Oh, lovely. And I'll make this one cold damage for the fun of it.
So you'll make it
Yeah, this one will be cold damage instead of lightning.
cold damage. Right. And yeah, you watch as the freezing nature of your fist that changes just in a split second from crackling with energy, electricity into this water vapor appearing from somewhere in this desert around your fist and then cracking into it. It doesn't seem to like that very much, so that looked to be like a decent solid amount of sand that you've ripped apart, and you see just falling off your fist and dropping onto the ground and not reforming back into this thing.
Well, yeah, that'll be my turn then.
Okay. Ildry.
Ildry is going to, from her vantage point up above, I am going to cast Entangle centered over one of the ones towards the back. Like somewhere there, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Okay.
So they need to make a strength check.
All right. And that's a low number. It's a 5.
Sweet. So they are restrained, assuming that they can be restrained.
Yeah, it looks... seems to be unable to... You see it shrinking down to a smaller size to try and wheedle its way through the vines. It looks like it's having to rethink itself to get through there. So, yeah, happy with that.
Okay. And then I am going to start looking for a way down. I guess.
Okay. What's your plans for that?
Is there, like, any ledges that look particularly accessible from where we are?
There certainly could be, if you're willing to use one of your turns climbing down, then it looks like it would be feasible.
Okay.
There are rough stone. There is rough stone broken, and you can see the telltale signs of just massive damage as the dragons crashed in and through what rock there is, searing some of it. So yeah, it's all very loose looking. Looks like there's a fairly good chance that you might... You don't fancy your chances too much, but yes, you can get down. Whether it's safely or not, I'm not sure.
Cool. I think I've made a plan for that. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of move a little bit closer to the edge.
Yeah.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Alright then. Karsat. Or Mud in this case, playing Kylon.
Yeah, so Kylon will bonus action and go into a blade dance. Or Blade Song, sorry.
Blade Song, yeah.
We'll then run these two enemies here.
Okay.
Understand how this works, right? He can use cantrip and weapon attack. So the cantrip he'll use is Booming Blade with a weapon attack against the creature to the north.
Mm-hmm.
And he will... I'm not sure if I'm double-handed for this. He will use his Warhammer against that one.
Mm-hmm. That's a hit.
That takes 7 bludgeoning damage, and if it moves at all, I believe it then takes 10 thunder. And then he will attack the other one with his battle axe. Very sick. For 11 slashing against the other one.
Okay. These beasts definitely don't give any resistance to Kylon as he attempts to bring his Warhammer round. It just doesn't. He's not convinced at all by this. However, his battle axe hits onto something that he doesn't quite understand. He doesn't. He's not able to put that together. He takes it in his stride. He's a hardened fighter. He knows to take the advantages and press them, and to not worry too much about weaknesses. But he's confused by the turn of events that he experienced with both of his hands, and he looks at this thing standing, and it's now towering above him. by several feet. And it's whipping round and it almost seems to consume his warhammer for a second, and it comes out the other side. But his axe hits something that seems to be just made of rock or something. It reverberates up through his hand. It's almost as if it's becoming increasingly corporeal. It seems to be just taking more form, and it seems to be building itself up from the rocks and the dust and the stone that's fallen and that's on the ground as well. So yes, there has been some connections there, and I imagine that Kylon has a very large smile on his face as his subconscious is processing all of this information. But yeah. Okay. Is there any more from Kylon?
Bonus action, no? That's all.
Okay. Okay. So the only thing that I need to do becomes seething booming energy until the start of next turn, and he'll take damage if he moves. Okay, right, I'll need to mark that. I will mark it. Try and remember. Okay. The dwarf standing next to you. Excuse me, guarding, he looks and says, "Oh, bloody hell, look at them. I gotta get down there. I'm no use up here." And he is going to attempt to jump down onto one of the loose stones, and he's going to use his athleticism to do that, which is a good job then that he rolled 26. So he jumps pretty far, and I'm going to roll a d20. I'm going to roll a d100 for each of these. Anything above 50, and there's a chance that the rock will slip and slide. So right, he's fine. All right. The other dwarves take note and take heed. So I'm just going to roll 1, 2. Oh dear. 3, 4. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay. The dwarves, as they jump down onto the rocks, all of these rocks have a very terrible chance of giving way. They're going to all have to make dex saving throws, which I will do very quickly. Oh damn. Right, it's not looking good for these guys. It really isn't looking good. How come I roll high in the D100s and then really low in the D20? Oh, well, the last one succeeds. Okay. The 1, 2, 3, 4 dwarves. 3 of them are going to take 5d6 damage as they fall 50 feet. Okay, that's not too bad. And they land prone at the bottom. One, two, yeah, that's right. Okay. So they each take a tumble. You see them jumping, they think it looks good, they see a ledge, they jump onto it, the stones just give way, fall away from underneath their feet, and they tumble to the bottom and crash, creating more dust at the bottom. They're prone. They didn't use all their movement, so yeah, that's fine. They get back up, but that's their shot over. Adri.
Cool. Alrighty. Bonus action, flight. So the hint of blue fairy wings, sort of like big three-tiered butterfly-looking things. The impression of them appears behind her as she just sort of steps off the cliff front, and will move, staying at the same vertical, but move out 30 feet, which puts her around about here. And then the chap who had Entangle cast, he's restrained at the moment.
Should be.
So that gives advantage on any attacks against him. Cool. But in that case, he is going to get... Well, he's going to get 3 Eldritch Blast against him.
I think you're muted, Croy.
Croy, you muted?
Yeah, yep. So has got advantage, yep.
Cool. Alrighty, so... 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Do they all...
They all hit at advantage, yes.
Excellent. Right, okay, so... First one will have Genie's Wrath added to it as well. That's 10 Force, 5 Thunder.
Okay.
And then second is... sweet, 15 Force. And the third one is 15 Force. That's highly improbable, but... No, I rolled 10s on both of them. Sweet. 45 damage.
Okay. Nice. So these big blasts go. As you're observing these things, you can see that they're, although they started off with this sand, you watch as a very obvious limb appears out and tries to grab one of the vines and move it out of the way. It appears that they started off in a different form than what what they've now been able to achieve. At least part of their bodies seem to have much more substance to them than they had when you first saw them. You don't quite know what this means, but you've noted it. Anything more from Adri?
Action, bonus action, movement. No, I'm done.
They stride forward out of the mist. They look with every step that they become more solid, more lifelike. The one to here bears down on the dwarf as they stride forward. And it slams into this with its huge, thick hand made of rock, just smashes down on top of the dwarf. And the first one is Vistra. She raises her shield up to ward it off, but the second one comes under the shield and smashes her against the wall. But Vistra takes 10 damage and looks the worst for it. Okay. Karsat. These things in front of you reach out and try and slam into you. With one with a 26, which I'm assuming hits.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. It's a 26, unfortunately.
So you take 9 bludgeoning damage. Could you also please take a strength saving throw? As soon as it hits you, its hand becomes dust again, and it spins round into sand very quickly. And you sense this huge strength before you. But you manage to stand tall. You plant your foot against a rock, and you're buffeted for a short second as you watch this thing spin round and then reform back into its more solid self. And so, yeah, you are able to withstand that particular attack from it. Okay. Kylon in the middle of two of them takes hits from hopefully from all sides. 24, 23, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of those hit him?
No, with Blade Song his AC's
25. Yes. So we can hit him, but we haven't yet. Could he please also make 2 strength saving throws? Yeah, both of them succeed. The wind that whips round after these stone-like appendages slam into him, he quickly either dodges them or deflects them. And he is then similarly buffeted, but the effect of both of them at the same time almost steadies him in the wind as he stands there with a huge grin on his face in the middle of this stone getting whipped around him, and he's able to stay on his feet. Okay. The entangled brush, you watch. Ildri, you watch this as the figure that you saw trapped turns into sand and dust, and it looses itself and it flows through your vines, and it reforms on the other side, no longer trapped. It's able to change its form into wind almost. But having done that, you sense that its energies are probably spent, and it doesn't look like it's going to be able to travel too far. And indeed, as it tries to regain itself, you watch as it partially restores itself back into its stone-like form and takes a step forward, but it gets no further. And according to the turn order of Roll20, despite Karsat having gone first now, it appears that Ildri, you're first up this time, so all hail Roll20.
All hail Roll20, indeed.
Is there more time to think? I ain't gonna complain.
Okay. Well, Ildri is going to basically take a couple of steps. Oh, I have the in this direction, and then Ildri is going to jump off the edge and cast Misty Step when she starts getting a little bit closer to the ground. So
yeah, okay.
She lands about there.
Yeah, brilliant. So you don't fall the same way that the dwarfs did.
Yeah. And then she's basically going to call Jara, I need you, and summon Jara in between those two, but like about 20 feet, no, about 10 feet away from them. So they basically take a bunch of fire damage as Jara appears. They don't have a token for them, but...
Okay, we need to give you a Jara token. We'll definitely need to sort that out for next time. We have... Yes, we do. Yes, we do. No, we do. Hang on. Here is a Jara token. We have an awesome Jara token. Have you got control of that Jara token? Yes, you do. Brilliant.
I do. Jara appears there. Mm-hmm. And with their appearance, it that basically they need to succeed on a dex saving throw or take 2d6 fire damage.
Okay. So the one
The
closest.
DC is 18.
18. Dex saving throw. The one to the top of the map fails with a 9. The one at the bottom gets 23. So.
Okay, so the one that failed takes 7. And then Jara will basically take the dodge action, if anything, attacks him. That's me done.
As the flames lick around this, you watch as small beads of glass drop down to the ground. This definitely appears to be reducing their mass considerably, so effective indeed.
Sweet.
Okay. Karsat.
With Karsat, I've seen that fire appears to be a bit more effective than he's tried so far.
No, I wouldn't think so. Given that you're faced into this, you've just been in the middle of the winds whipping over you, and you're trying to focus yourself, and you can barely see. I guess for that, yeah, I don't think so. I'm not sure, but you could certainly.
Keep the what's been working then. So yeah, let's do this. This seems fun. So Karsat will move around it, so he's still within the space foot facing that way, and proceed to try and punch it once again.
Yeah, that hits. You know that you're not getting the kind of purchase that you need to with these hits. It's like, even though these things are far more solid than they are, your hand just doesn't seem to be having the impact on it that you want. It's almost as if it knows you're hitting it, and it turns itself into air, sand. You're just not getting the purchase. Yeah.
Karsat will tilt his head to the side, take a deep breath, and use his breath of the dragon.
Yes.
And so I will now breathe a 30-foot long, 5-foot wide line of ice, which should hit in 2 of these things. Which should, and it does 5 cold damage. Oh well.
Yeah, excellent.
So that's a dex saving throw for them both of DC 17.
Okay. 1 and 2. DC 17, they both fail.
We'll take 5 points of cold damage in. Karsat will then. Yeah, just punch it one more time in annoyance.
It definitely hits, but you know that it's not having. You're frustrated, yes. Frustrated.
And can I spend a key point to see if Stunning Strike works? Why not?
You get the sense that you might as well be shouting in the wind as punching it with that.
Yeah, seems right, but I have to try.
Okay. Any movement?
No, that should be all for that.
Bylon.
God, what do I do? Keep it simple, so action. Tylon will use Sword Burst. So, a DC 17 dex save for those two, please.
I rolled a 10 and a 19. The one to the lower of the map succeeds.
Yeah, I think see. You use a bonus action to take an attack. I don't know. He gets another swing anyway. I'll use that with battle axe. Does a 14 hit?
No.
Yeah.
Very quickly, the solid nature of the surface that he connects it with clangs against the axe. Doesn't chip it, doesn't spark, nothing. Just inert, not enough strength in that attack.
I'm sure he has stuff he can do as a bonus action, but I don't know what it is, so I'll just end the turn there.
Okay. The dwarves brush themselves up, they charge, they shout, and they do what they do best. Vistra is under attack and will take the Warhammer in two hands because she's not dropped. The shield's been knocked in, makes the attempts, but doesn't manage to hit. Weird takes the chance to move forward to defend. Vistra jumps up onto the rock and brings down an axe, one-handed, swings it round and makes a two-handed attempt to attack, and unfortunately doesn't hit despite rolling at advantage. I should only be taking the left of those because advantage is left over from I've turned it off now. You have Daffy. Daffy makes the dash across to you, Karsat, and roars and two hands had time to ready it. I'm rolling at advantage, you're going to stick that to normal. There we go. None of the dwarves are able to land a blow on these things. They are just formidable. Okay, and they jump down another and another, and I'll roll the D100s. Above 50 they fall. Oh dear. Both of them. Not so far this time at least. They tumble down the side. Good job that nobody decided to actively do that. So they will take 4d6 damage. They take 18 points of damage as they break themselves into the bottom of the ground. Okay. Guardian brushes himself down. Doesn't look like he's terribly hurt anyway. Okay. Right. YN. There we go. Nope. Okay. Thanks for putting it right. 18 points of damage. There we go. I'll mark that. Fine. Okay. So, Adri, you're flying.
Cool. Adri's going to stay hovering where she is. Having seen the effect that fire had on the ones where they with the glass and everything from Jara, she has been doing some frantic maths in her head and has worked out that I think it was here. She can get all three of those in a 20-foot radius.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Kylon. So just about there.
Mm-hmm.
Drop fireball.
Okay. Boom.
Which casting it at 5th level.
Okay.
So DC 18 dex saves.
The one nearest to Kylon succeeds. The one that crawled its way out from the vines fails, and the one that's being surrounded by dwarves succeeds.
Excellent. Okay, and do you need wrath on any attack that I do? I should know this. Yeah, once in your turn, add 5 thunder damage to an attack.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So half damage for those that succeeded, plus the damage there. Little parts of the beasts they just glisten in the fire, seem to melt and turn into these drops that tinkle and crash down, the ones that come from higher up. And you note that the one to the north near Jera is looking barely like it's hanging together. Its entire mass is just barely visible. It seems to have lost some limbs, and it doesn't seem to be able to draw anything from around it. It definitely looks like it's on its last legs. So that was a particularly effective use of your attack. Well done. Any movement?
No movement. She's gonna be staying. Yeah, because it's 60 foot down, so she's going to be keeping herself roughly in the vicinity of where the largest number of dwarves are. But she is going to shout, fire seems to hurt the buggers. With her biggest, most librarian voice, which will carry as far as it
echoes around the arena. Yes. Okay. So next up, around the dwarves, the first attack comes in back on Vistra, a crit at 28. Vistra cannot do anything with this onslaught. So it takes. Yeah, she is seriously injured. She's taken an absolute battering. The attack seems to follow round as the beast spins in the attack to hit Vistra, and then the momentum carries round, and basically spins round and continues to throw that. So I'm going to have to make Vistra and every other save and throw. And Vistra fails. Margaret needs to make a save or get thrown. Margaret fails. Oh dear. And Weird needs to make a save and is not thrown. Okay. So 2 of the dwarves get slammed back in the wind. They get slung in a random direction. Oh joy, right, so it's a D8. Okay. That's south, so no, that's north. 1, 2. Oh, it gets thrown 20 feet beyond it. All right, that's that way. You just watch as Vistra gets sent flying, and likewise. 1, 2. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. So Margaret gets slammed right back into the rock that she had just fallen down. But doesn't really take too much damage from it because it wasn't very far. So yeah, just a slight bruise for Margaret. Her back gets slightly winded, but she shakes it off and looks ready to go another round. And then the second attack is going to go round as the thick arm solidifies back and slams into Weird, but doesn't manage to make a connection. Having seen Vistra move, the other one moves back towards the vines that Vistra is lying in, and knocked prone, has advantage on the attacks. And is going to try to slam down upon Vistra with a hit and 2 hits for 23 points of damage. Yeah, okay. And then it steps back down. Okay. Finally, Karsat, I need you to make a dex save. Sorry, a strength save, please. And the DC is not reached. Okay, and I'll roll a d8. As this wind hits you, you take 12 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're flung 20 feet almost through it and behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the other devil. You skite along the ground. As you do so, can you make a dex saving throw, please?
You hope I'm not going to have a better dex save than this.
Yeah, you managed to stay on your feet, so you're okay. Yeah. Another creature. Yeah, good. Right. So you stay on your feet, and you land up against the dust, the pile of dust that's walking there, and it tries very hard to ignore you. But strangely, I don't know how, but as you land in it, you actually you force it to reform. The force of the way that you were chucked actually puts you right up against it, and for some reason it just catches it off guard. So focused on Kylon it is, and it quickly changes, loses its solid nature, and it just rolls back into this whirlwind that it was before. Yeah. And in doing so, you damage it. So it takes damage, and for intents and purposes, although I'm not quite sure, there's nothing that says. Oh yeah, okay, and it reforms again. Right, that's fine. Yeah, okay, not a problem. Right, that makes sense. So, as it does so, it attacks you, having caused it so much hassle. So Karsat, these 2 attacks are aimed at you. So 21 to hit and a 16.
Does Karsat want to take that? No, he does not. He will cast shield because he's hit quite a bit already.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other one continues its large onslaught into Kylon. 26.
Do you want to cast shield, Aldo?
Yes, I do.
Hey, welcome back.
We shall shield that, and it shall miss.
Okay. Could you please make a strength save, Kylon? You are thrown 20 feet and you take 10 points of damage as this thing slams into you and throws you in the direction of up. 1, 2, 3. Ouch. Okay, so you slam into a bit of wall there. You take 1d6. So you take another. You take another 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the stone at the back. I'm going to bring Aldo back in, but not like that. But not like that.
You want me to work hammer on?
Right,
That might be helpful.
give me a second while we just quickly do
I
that.
didn't turn it on, so I didn't mess things up.
No, I appreciate that. There we go, and then bing, there you are. Nice. Welcome back. How was the rum?
Very good. Enjoyed it.
So, you are slammed backwards in the wind. That is there. Ildri, you're up next.
Cool. I am going to wander over here. Probably where that rock is. That'll do. And I am going to cast... I'm going to drop concentration on the viney thingamabobbies.
Okay.
I am going to cast Flaming Sphere, second level, that'll do. Sort of in between those two. And ram into the one that was slightly more injured.
Okay, yeah.
So that puts that in chat. Yeah, so I'm going to do that in front of them. So yeah, that one gets whacked.
The top one gets whacked. The bottom one does not take quite so much. So what's the damage?
DC. The damage apparently is 5. Fire as it takes it, and I am also going to order Jara up and to attack. So on Jara's turn, they are going to use Flame Seed, which I believe has another dexterity saving throw and does 1d6 plus 5 fire damage to probably the one that's closest to the dwarves. Actually, no, I think it's both.
Okay.
No, the one that's closest to the dwarves.
And
So
it rolls a 17.
Okay, so yeah, it takes that because the DC is 18.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, did I actually have to roll for that? My bad. There we go.
Yeah, 9.
Oh.
There we go. Oh, it's just a ranged attack, so even better. That also hits. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
that's me
Right.
done.
So yeah, again, you just watch as the bits drip off it and tinkle, smashing into small shards of sharp glass at its feet. Karsat.
So I've just got a question, Croy, about the makeup of these things. Are they essentially like a compressed sandstorm, sand when everything just forced into this shape?
you've seen these things simultaneously exist in almost both states of being solid and sand. So that would be a fair assumption.
Right. So if there's a wind element to them, I would like to use my storm guide ability. Control of all the wind within 100-foot radius of myself.
Oh, I love it.
And make it all blow straight up.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Right. So, you can choose. So okay. I think that's awesome. So we'll have it. You are channeling the wind around you, and the wind around you exists in the most concentrated form imaginable around each of these things that have arisen. There is, of course, wind that flows within this and down the tunnel to your north, but all of this combined, 5 of these suddenly fall back into their sandy dust form and rise up into the air 100 feet from you, which provokes opportunity attacks for anybody that's close to one. Which isn't that many of you because you've all been flung around yourself. But let's take the opportunity attacks. Weird gets 1 as this thing disappears and flies up into the air. No, he completely misses. He is not rolling well. And you yourself get 1, Karsat, as does Daffy.
I think I've realised fire works at this point, so can I make that fire damage, please?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Right, that's fine. Yep.
Does Jarrah as one flies past?
Yeah, go for it.
I think, would that just be the flame seed thing again?
Yeah, go for it, yep. Hey! Daffy hit for 4 damage. Nice. There we go. The dwarf's got a blow in. So now all of these are suspended up. So their entire bodies have just been whisked away straight up.
Just for instant review, can I cast Firebolt at them while they're in the air?
Okay.
16 hit?
No.
Damn.
Alright, so now you've got a situation where the wind above you, 40 feet above the top of the pit, is spinning round in a vortex, and it seems to be trying to rip apart these protectors of this pit. They're sort of being strained, and you can see them trying to force themselves against this to try and haul themselves back together again. But they are now all up in the air, 100 feet. How long does that effect last for?
Till the end of my next turn, and I can use my bonus action to do it again for free every turn till we've kind of shot them to pieces.
Okay. Anything more from you?
I think Karsat's quite pleased with himself now, so you're just going to grin at Kylon.
Kylon, these are all up in the far distance. You can't even jump that high.
Yeah. Creates a bit of a problem. So they're 100 foot up, are they?
Yep.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen your spell list, haven't I?
Yeah, you just wrecked the whole point of me.
Look, I was getting beaten.
Okay. Got it. Slow. The lot of them.
Okay. So you
Also
look up.
Move to like the center of the pit.
Yeah. Wisdom save.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 wisdom saves coming up. I'm going to do north to south, so north first on the left, going down. I know you're not seeing these rolls, but that's intentional because I'm rolling all of their saves at once, and then I'm looking at the table that it brings up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Okay. So what's the DC? 17.
17.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fails. I would like to point out that the highest roll that I made there was a 12. I rolled a 12, a 4, a 4, a 7, and a 1. So that's pretty shocking, really. So there. They all fail. They are now all slowed.
Wonderful. It's literally the only thing I can do to do anything to them.
I don't know if that makes them fall slower if they don't get kept up there, but yeah, okay. So the dwarves look up at this as these beings, the sand just shoots up into the air at a hell of a speed. And he makes ready his crossbow. He's got plenty of time to do it, so I'm going to make him attack with that. He misses, not unsurprisingly. Vistra is like, no, sorry, Margaret. Looks over and says, "Where's Vistra?" Yeah, she begins to look around and spots Vistra and runs over. And you can see her. And she shouts, "Vistra's down!" She's like, "Look, she's not there." And she's shouting. And the other dwarves run to her side. And this word, I don't know if he has his light crossbow. He does not, so he doesn't make any attacks, and he begins to dash over. Okay. Right. Okay, they're all gathered around Vistra, who's lying on the ground. Adri. They're about 40 foot away from you. Yeah.
All 5 of them
Yeah.
are currently in a spear kind of effort, or just up?
Up. Bit more. Yeah. Let's just, for simplicity, say they're in exactly the same position, but just straight up. Round about 40 foot higher than you.
You're gonna look at the spot where she cast Fireball previously. Crack it up. Because it had to be with it, like, it was pretty nip and tuck being able to get 3 of them. And casting Fireball to that spot, but up in the air.
It's a 20-foot radius, right?
20-foot radius, so...
You can get all of them.
Can she?
Yep. Yep.
I will take your word on it.
Yep.
Cool. Alrighty, so...
If anybody has the VTT enhancement suite installed, then you should be seeing my extra cool rulers that allow me to do circles and stuff like that. It's nice.
Cool. Level 5 and a DC 18 dex save.
Okay.
It's being up in the air kind of hindering any dex ability that they may have in addition to the -2 from...
Strangely
No.
not, given that they look quite comfortable as a dust storm. But nice thought. Got
I mean, they also have -2 from haste, so, you know.
Okay, so the first one gets 25 down to 22. The second one gets 13 down to 11, so that's a fail. So one fails. The other one is 18 down to 16. So that's a fail. 11 down to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 24 down to 22. So the top, this one and this one both succeed. The other 3 fail.
Okay. So the ones who fail are taking 33 points of fire damage, and the ones who succeeded are taking half that.
Big hits, and anybody who is standing underneath where any of these are going to have to make dex saving throws or be hit by shards of glass. This takes half, but I think you're mostly... Oh, Jara might get hit terribly in just a minute. Oh dear. Can you get Jara to make any sort of dex? This one's completely gone. It just rains glass on top of Jara.
Jara made a dex of 12, which is actually better than Ildry's, so, you know.
Yeah, Jara gets pummeled by glass as one of these things just completely dissipates, turns into tiers of glass that fall down. They're not necessarily all sharp and pointy, but they certainly do quite a bit of damage. I don't know how many hit points Jara has. Is it something?
75.
75. Oh, okay. So Jara takes 12 points of a mixture of bludgeoning and piercing damage as the glass kind of pummels her in a range she can't quite get out, and her wings are damaged. But yeah, she makes it out, and
She'd been enjoying all the fire baths up until this point. Like, Adri might be a new favorite person after the last fireball. The only thing is I don't think edit her hit points on here, so I will do that on roll. No, I can't even do that on thing. I'm just going to put -12 here so I remember them.
Yeah. Okay. Adri, anything else from...
Yeah, she is, having heard the shout, or having heard / seen that Vistra is down. Is that 70-foot hypotenuse still applicable? She's still about 60 foot up in the air.
It'll be slightly less than that, but yeah, more or less. Yep, roughly, give or take. What have you got in mind?
Okay. She is just trying to wants to get down towards.
Yeah.
An action and bonus action for 60 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can fly. So yeah, it's round about that, isn't it? So let's say you get down to her side.
Cool. Alrighty. And that is... Yeah, that'll be her.
These guys are slowed. They can only fight against the wind that's controlling them, and the storm that you've countered. You counter-stormed them, and the wind is blowing against them, and they are trying to form, and you can see them almost flatten against the wind, but they can't get down. So they're fighting against it, and they are unable to break that. I would like to give them some opportunity to, although I know the spell doesn't necessarily say it does, but it'd be quite interesting to see if they could manage to break What do you think would be reasonable?
They do get a wisdom save at the end of each turn.
Not
No,
from slow,
for
from Storm Guide.
Right.
Against your Storm Guide. So, what's your spell DC?
My spell DC is 17, and they're strength, I would guess, because they're trying to force their way through.
Yeah, that seems fair. Let's see if any of them can get back to the ground. Okay, none of them are particularly strong. None of them make it. So you see them battling against the wind that you're putting up against them, but they're unable to. So yeah, they're still up in the air, 100 foot up.
They do get a wisdom save against.
Oh, and a wisdom.
Right. The end of the turn.
Right. Let's try that. Thank you. Wisdom. Oh no, I don't need to roll it again. I just rolled it. That's the whole point of doing it this way. Wisdom, a 12, a 16, a 16, and a 1.
That's a no.
Okay. All right. Ildri.
Ildri, I guess, hearing that Vistra is down, she's going to move up over here. It's going to yell at Jara to attack, and also she is going to cast a first Cure Wounds on Vistra.
Okay.
And because Jara is active, I believe I get 1d8 extra on top of that because it's a healing spell.
Okay. Okay.
So 1d8 plus whatever my spellcasting modifier is. I'm not rolling well.
Well, you know, it works because she's no longer
So
in a terrible state. I mean, looks very, very beaten up, but otherwise, she chokes back and says, he sees her sand that's just kind of, and she's just lying there looking up. Sighs heavily.
yeah, and Jara is going to flame seed the one that's above it.
Okay. Yep, that hits. And in response, Jara sees bits of glass falling down off and takes a point of damage, which I'll mark. Okay. Yeah, these things are not doing well. Right. Any more from Ildri?
Nope, that's
Karsat?
me.
Yep, Karsat, you're up.
So Karsat. How high up are they again?
100 feet.
100 feet? No, that would still be too short. So yeah, I'm just going to look up at them. Actually, first I'm going to move to the damn side so I don't get hit with glass. Then I'm going to wave up at one of the ones above me and just, damn it, can't hit with this goddamn spell.
Yeah. It just flies past it.
It's low, the AC's low enough.
Unfortunately, you don't hit and it misses. The firebolt.
They do have a -2 to AC at the moment.
Yeah.
It's low.
Yeah.
I think it's 16 if my math's
Good
right.
reminder,
So,
but no, still no.
Yeah, no, my maximum movement when I can still hit them is 90 feet, so I would still come out short. So, yeah. I'm all good. That's me.
Kylan.
Yeah. Not much I can do, really.
Karsat's keeping them up there, right? He's not letting them drop.
This is the greatest thing I've ever done in a battle.
We'll just hold Mind Sliver for if any of them come in range, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah. Hold an attack to if anything's in range. Hit it.
Gardain takes another bolt out and attempts to... And he hits? My goodness. 6 piercing damage. Which one's... Oh, so close. You can barely see... Above Jara, you can barely see any sand in the air. It's all mostly out, and it's just such a fine wisp of sand that's floating about. Adri.
Then the Viscera is up, or at least no longer out. Doesn't need to be here. So is gonna up a little bit just so she is not crowding the dwarves, and is gonna chuck 3 Eldritch Blasts up into the weird sandy stormy thing. Is there clear distinction as to what they are, like the individuals?
Yeah, you can pick out on the left, on your right as you're flying up. You get the ones that are closest to Karsat. You can sort of see them, but the one above you is just such a faint sliver of sand. It's barely visible against the light as you stare up.
Okay. She's gonna ignore the one that's the faint sliver, and which one? Pump 3 bolts in, right? The 3 bolts into whichever one still looks the healthiest.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably the one that's level with you on the map to the left there. Right. So, go for it.
That's all right. 1,
Nice.
2, 3.
First 2 hit. Last one does not.
Alrighty.
-2.
Okay. And well, they're all going into the same one, so it doesn't matter too much. But there'll be a genie trap in there as well. What's that? My brain has failed at math. It's been a long week.
Yeah, no worries.
40
It
points.
definitely has. Okay. Yeah, we got it. All right. Yeah, that takes a lot out of it. Anything more? You've moved. You've attacked. Any bonus action?
Nope.
Okay.
No, on that front.
They are going to repeat their saves, both for wisdom and for strength. Okay. 1, 2. The one that looks vaguely like it's the one that you just hit begins to fly downwards towards you. It's slowed, so it doesn't move that far, but it does look like it maybe has broken free and is starting to descend. There's not much of it left, but it is nevertheless getting towards you.
How far does it move?
Okay, that's a good question. That is quite a specific question. It moves a total of 50 feet, so halfway. So it's about 60 foot from you.
It's about 60 foot from me.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
You don't want you guys to rain by chance, Chloe, just to slow it and keep it just a little bit higher.
So
It can make an intelligence saving throw then, please.
it rolled a -2.
Wonderful. It takes 10 psychic damage. And there's disadvantage on its next saving throw.
Excellent. Okay. Did any of the others make the strength save? This one too also begins to make 50 feet down towards Karsat. And then also the wisdom saves collectively rolled a 1, a 2, a 9, and a 12, so they're all still slowed.
I like these.
Ildre.
I am going to cast Scorching Ray at the one that's over Jara, and basically order Jara to attack.
Okay. Um, 27 definitely hits. So that's the first one. You make 3 rays of fire. So that's, yeah. I mean, that, to be fair, that makes it disappear entirely. It just vanishes.
Okay.
Jara will need to make a dex save, however, as its remains fall down.
Ouch.
Yeah, another 13 points of damage on Jara.
She's not going to be happy with me.
Okay, so that is out. If I can remove, there we go. No, yes, maybe. Tell you what, let's just make it disappear, since it has disappeared. There we go. Good stuff. So, yeah, that worked. Do you get the opportunity? Yeah, several targets, so yeah, you can redirect.
Alright, well, I will redirect it over towards the one that is, I guess, quick. It has just been mind slithered.
Yeah. So roll to hit.
That I think misses, and that might.
That hits, yeah, with -2 from slow it does.
It's your favourite spell cry, you know it.
Okay.
6 plus 1d8 because it's fire damage and Jara's active.
Okay. Yeah, and again, shards of glass fall off this as you smack it. It's every time it moves down, it just seems to be becoming less of a existence, and it's looking very pale, and you can see the light shining through it. No longer able to take its solid form. LG, are you moving? Are you staying put?
I think I'll stay put.
Okay. Karsat?
So Karsat will look over and fire a firebolt at the one that just took the scorching ray. Oh, come on!
Misses?
This spell is her. I'll bonus action patient defense, and I'll just stand there waiting. But yeah, that's me.
Okay. Kylon.
Yeah, we're just gonna mind sliver that one again, I guess. Another intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, -4 this time.
Wonderful, let's have another 12 psychic damage.
And it just vanishes from the air as it continues to try and move, and you just see the sand just blowing away into the wind, getting whipped away. 2 left. Both looking in pretty bad shape, as much as you have been able to ascertain their composition through this battle.
Cool, fine. that's all I can do, really.
Okay. Another shot from Gardain with his bow, his crossbow. Hits. 1 point of damage. You never know. Could be all deciding. Adri.
They're both looking pretty hurt.
Oh yeah. Very transparent.
Right, so she's still up, just generally, because she can fly, so why not? And that'll be, 3 rounds of Eldritch Blast, 2 going into whichever one might look healthiest. If they're nip and tuck on the same, flip a coin, Croy. You pick which one. So 2 into one, into whichever one looks healthiest, and 1 into the other. So that'll be 1, 2.
Okay, 2 hit, 15 doesn't.
Cool. Alrighty, so that would have been 1, 2 into the first one, and then 3 into the second.
Yeah.
So they each get hit. Cool. Alrighty, so the first one gets that plus Brad.
Thunder. Okay.
Yeah, and the second one just gets 13 force.
Nice. Good roll. Yeah, that's certainly taken the wind out of them even further.
No pun there at all.
I thought that ability would come in so handy. I thought they'd stop it raining maybe at one point, but...
Okay.
Yeah, that's her done.
Okay. Ildry.
I think it's actually got rid of those dudes' turn from the initiative tracker when one of them died. So I think it's actually their go.
Okay, in that case, all they get to do is a couple of saves and maybe move. Their strength, they both failed. Their wisdom, they both failed. So that's them not doing anything. Oh, Ildry.
Ildry is going to order Jara to attack the one that's at the bottom, and I guess I'm gonna cast Scorching Ray at the one that's, we'll start at the one at the top and then just work our way through.
That hits.
E6 plus 8. I don't know why this isn't adding the damage, but anyway. So that'll be 9 points to for the first one.
Mm-hmm. That hits.
That'll be... Where are we?
Yep. That ends it. That makes it disappear entirely. You watch as the last vestiges of the sand just disappear up and into the clouds, unable to hold on to existence.
And then for the
hits.
the other one, it is 2, 1. And then Jara's a seed attack, flame seed attack as well.
Oh, it misses. Oh, what a shame. What a shame, as this final bits of sand are still just being whipped around in the air. Kylon, you watch as piece by piece these things just disappear. You can no longer track anything. There's a faintest target above Karsat.
If it comes into range, we'll hit it with Mind Sliver.
Okay.
All I've got.
This could be the dwarf's finest moment as Gardain gets ready his crossbow again and shoots and misses. Oh, you could have had the glory. Adri, it's yours for sure.
3 Eldritch Blast straight into it. And I've looked at my cursor. There we go. So 1, 2, 3.
There you go. 2 hit.
Good thing I had decided to do 3. Alrighty, so first one.
Don't roll a 1. You didn't roll a 1. That's it. That ends it. That's it. Bang. The first one connects, and he just watches it. The energy, this sort of pallid colour of your Eldritch Blast, like the sunset before in the sand, just shoot out from you and bang, slap into the remaining target as best you can see, and it just vanishes. It just dissipates. So you're now out of combat, and that'll be a good time to take a break. But just before we do, Vistra, she looks up and just says to Ildrith, "Thank you. It still hurts, but I can stand up now." And she kind of valiantly gets on her feet and looks stoic about it, but you can tell that she's in a bit of pain. All right. She just stretches and kind of cricks her back a bit and her shoulders and looks at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Ildry just kind of like looks at her, I guess, and will fast Cure Wounds again. At first level.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I mean, it could have been worse.
Not actively hard. So yeah.
And with that, she closes her eyes and nods, and then turns round and looks at the tunnel behind you, and takes the first steps, falteringly at first, but you can see that her resolve is with her as she strides off, and she shouts, "Well, are you coming? We've got a blue dragon to get a white dragon off our back." And she strides off.
I feel we could do with a rest before we go any further. It seems safe here for now.
Sit down, we'll have lunch, it'll be fine, and then we can go for a fight.
She just stops and sits down. Hi, all right. I'll watch this entrance and let you know if anything blue with a big nose comes out.
Karsat touches his nose self-consciously. Goes to the bag and starts getting cooking utensils out.
Okay, so we'll leave you having a short rest, and we'll have that short rest finished when we get back from this break. Yes, we're back. We are back. And they collectively managed to dissipate the storm, wind, dust devils that appeared in front of them as they collapsed into this sinkhole created by the dragon that they are hunting down. Successfully, they did thwart these, and now they found the tunnel created, which surely must lead to their target. You're all taking a short rest. I'm going to say that that nothing ever happens when I roll random encounter dice. I've been rolling random encounter dice since a campaign we started 5 years ago, And normally when you get to high level campaigns you stop rolling them, but because I've only ever succeeded about 3 times in 5 years of ever getting a random encounter by rolling a d20, I keep rolling them just in the hope that, you know, something interesting might happen. And never does. So I might just give up doing that as well. It's possible. But we're not going to give up on this because we have got a target in mind. What happens in your short rest, guys? Is there anything particular you need to do?
Karsat basically sits down and cook using the chef feat, which I remember I have. Definitely use every short and long rest we get. To be able to make a bunch of treats that increase our healing over the short rest. And also to with everyone else, if we want to take an extra hour, so Karsat can make very tasty treats so we can take along with our rations. AKA, if you eat them, they will give you temporary hit points when you need them just before we go into a fight, sort of ration. If everyone's happy spending an extra hour doing that.
Sure.
Wait, what time of day is it? Roughly. I can't remember how long it's been since we did a long rest.
You woke up in the library and you adventured through it. You found the damage wrought by the blue dragon in the school of in the magic school, the sub part of the library that you were in. And then Sandbag led you through the desert to where you are. I think it's been a while, right, since you last took a long rest. Let's have a scroll up in chat, because we usually mark it, don't we?
We stayed the night in a dome/tree house.
You did, didn't? Yeah, well remembered. Yes, you found a valley where the water melt from Elskara hadn't quite been contaminated to the point of being unusable for life, and you managed to have a long. Yeah, so that was part way on this journey. So we're looking, midday-ish. I would say after the journey through the desert.
Cool. Then the extra hour.
You've still got a few hours of daylight as you head underground.
Kylan's got to use Arcane Recovery to regain it.
Okay.
Just for the record, Troy, I can only make as many treats as my proficiency bonus, which I believe is 4.
Okay.
So that's enough for the actual party that the dwarves will get.
5 currently.
Okay, so 4 tasty treats are created, and the dwarves variously stand guard and watch to make sure nothing appears that shouldn't. Yeah.
I'm really sorry, my dog just knocks me over in the next room. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Priceless antiques in Mud's house have now been turned into a jigsaw project.
More like Jenga.
One dog is trouble, 2 dogs. I don't know why anybody does that. Anyway. We are finishing up on the short rest. Karsat is cooking. You take an extra hour. And you take an extra hour. And yeah, nothing occurs of any note other than time passing and the winds. From this far down, as you walk about in the area. You can see some ways that you'd be able to climb up, but you note that the side of this sinkhole is really loose rock and not at all ideal for climbing. You're not exactly sure that you would want to risk climbing out of it. As the dragon's burrowed and scored its way through the sand and the rock beneath. Yeah, it's definitely not good architecture, not good engineering.
Perhaps while Karsat's cooking, we could have a chat with Sandbag. It's been rather quiet.
I mean, Kylan's probably busy having breath holding competitions with him, but yeah, if you want to talk to him.
Every so often, Karsat looks over and flicks his finger and casts Gus. Who he casts at? He hits one of you with dust.
What kind of save is that?
I don't think it does enough for there to be a save, but let me check.
No, I think it's just a bit of wind, isn't it? But because of Sandbag's nature, if you put him down in, do you put him down in the sand? Do you put him down in the sand, or do you keep him in his bag?
Think about it. I can knock you in your arse with it with a strength save.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sandbag is in the process of a one-eyed staring competition with Kylon, and just the both of them are there just doing this, like one eye just staring at each other, having already had one of their breathing competitions interrupted, and Sandbag looks away from you, Kylon, and thus you win that round. I think you're.
Kylan switches eye.
And as the die just kind of looks around, and it spies the rest of you. He looks at you. Ildri, you approaching, and he looks at you, and he says, "One-eyed staring competition."
Eldritch just laughs and like immediately blinks.
Hey, I won! Brilliant.
You did. Congratulations. Have you got any senses to anything else that might be lurking in the sand here? Like you did with the bugs?
Is he in the bag or is he in the ground? That's for Kylon.
I mean, Kylan's not keeping him in the bag at the moment.
Right, great. So yeah, he's in the, and you see him slithering around in the sand a bit, and he's still got one eye. Hey, that terrible dragon just hit through here, but some time ago. You're gonna find it, right? You're gonna find it, and you're gonna stick something sharp and pointy in its eye.
That would definitely make it hard for it to win staring competition.
Exactly, then I could challenge it. Imagine winning a staring competition against a dragon.
How about blunt and heavy, and Kylan kind of waves his hammer about?
He switches eyes to look at you. Round 3.
Kylan's too busy admiring his hammer.
Okay. So, Sandbag just gives up.
practicing swinging it, imagining dragon's eyeball getting squashed.
Sandbag, yeah, he spins round the entranceway. This bugger hasn't been down here for a long time. I can't say. It's not all sand, it's rock. I'm not very good with rock. I'm a sandbag, not a rock bag. What? There was magic here. I think you've blown it away. Don't do that with me. And he looks at Karsat.
Karsat's too busy looking sad about all the talk of stabbing a dragon.
Yeah, Sandbag heads back over to Kylon and just looks up at him. Oi.
Yes.
Steering competition.
I'll just start staring at him and holds his breath.
So, Sandbag locked in deadly combat with Kylon. Once again. What are the rest of you up to?
Karsat's just cooking,
Okay.
using control flames and gas to get just the right temperature to cook everything perfectly.
A perfect fire and 4 awesome bits of brilliant food later. Yeah, some of these erstwhile dwarfs. You hear them talking and they're variously chatting away about what they could have done, how differences of what they should have done there. Yeah, you can hear at one point saying, well, if we'd brought Ildi, maybe Jazzcar could have helped. And then another one says, no. We should have brought Tordred and then we could have had a drink right now. How are you feeling? And as they're just sort of talking to each other and they're trying to heal each other up as best they can. But yeah, they regret that. You can hear them talking, and they regret that Ildri didn't want to have anything to do with Karsat, and you get that kind of impression that Ildri was most aggrieved that her companions at Stone Shield were considering even partying up with a kobold, but the rest of the dwarves don't seem to worry. But yeah, the cleric of the Stone Shield Keep definitely has made her thoughts known by not even wishing to come along and be part of this adventure, but nevertheless still back up at Stone Shield and looking after things up there. Somebody's got to, and you think back to the cold, having already shed some of the warmer items of clothing that you have had, because it is warm down here, and the light gust of wind that pulls towards the edge of the tunnel beckons. What are you going to do?
As we're getting to, when we're getting to the sort of towards the end of the 2-hour rest, so probably only sort of like 10 minutes from the end of it, Adri is going to take some time, sort of just 10 minutes, to ritual cast telepathic bond. And and sort of between herself, Ildri, Kylon, and Karsat, which give them just an hour of a telepathic connection, regardless of their distance, so long as they are on the same material plane. Or the same distance.
Okay. It's possible. Communication is possible over any distance, though it can't extend through planes. Nice. Rary's telepathic bond.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Like it. So you're now all able to hear each other's thoughts at will, I guess. You're not just broadcasting everything all the time, because that would just be difficult.
That would be hellish.
Slightly
Very
awkward, isn't it?
distracting.
Yeah. My assumption with it is that you choose what you share.
Yeah. Every so often you get a blast from Kylon about his magnificent and astounding defeat of a monster single-handedly underground, something that was made of tree and sinew. Kylon's made.
Kylon isn't really sure how to, control what he shares, so it's just a constant stream of that, really.
Perhaps like a true spy, you can't even reach over your head to hit a dust cloud.
Yeah, so there's a time where you're all sort of bombarded at first when Adri casts his spell. You're bombarded by Kylon's amazing ability to single-handedly take out every foe. Whether or not that's real, whether you recognise some of the stories that he's thinking about and imagining, and you certainly have different recollections of them yourself, but after a short while you manage to filter out some of the more excessive stream of consciousness from Kylon. But Kylon, you're still just like you're with your hammer in hand, and you're also. But the only point you go silent is when Sandbag challenges you to a breathing and staring competition, and your mind becomes quite still at that point, and you're just focused on winning.
Yeah.
Wow, the focus of battle. Yeah. Excellent.
We've got some spell scrolls kicking about as well.
Okay.
Kylan would spend a bit of time ritual casting, identifying those, just to see what they are.
Okay.
Cantrip, 1st level and 8th level.
Okay. Let's have a look.
And in between staring contests and breath holding contests and breath holding staring contests, we shall identify those.
Let's have a look-ski at the lists of. Oh, we've got a random table we can roll. Random cantrip table. There we go. Yeah, give me a D100, Kylon, please. Nine. That is control flames.
Seems rather appropriate for this group.
And who's most likely to be using a level 8 spell?
That'd be me.
Okay. Go on, LG, roll a D100. $20. You identify the level 8 spell as clone.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So you can either get that description of the compendium within Roll20, or you can take it from back and add it. Yeah. Okay. Now, so there. Anything else that you guys are doing during this short 2-hour rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a
First level spell as well.
Yep.
Okay. Give me another D100, somebody. Yeah, give me a D100, somebody. And that is 75. And that is Witch Bolt. So we've got Witch Bolt, Clone, and Control Flame. Not a cheap
I guess it'll
primal clone, is it? Sorry, Ildry.
Yeah, so we'll give it. So Ildry is going to be handed the 8th level spell scroll.
And she takes it and looks at it and goes, I think I'm almost able to cast this. And puts it somewhere handy.
Okay. So, yeah, what now?
I suppose it's time to start thinking about heading down.
Well, let's get on it. See if we can find this thing before the hour is up.
It's not difficult. Walking through the tunnel, you can imagine the force that was used to create it. You come to a crossroad of sorts. It looks like a fault in the ground rather than anything that could have been wrought by a dragon underground. The path opens up and it looks like it continues on the other side, and you walk around and catch that back. There's some twists and turns, some offshoots. Can I get a survival roll? You're in the maze. There's a large collection of tube-like tunnels, a network that you find your way into. If anybody can make survival roll of the best guess tracking, you're going to find it. It's just a matter of how quickly and how tired you are by the time you get there. Who's going to lead in this expedition through the ground?
Has anyone got plus
So
one?
I don't think Karsat would be particularly willing to lead.
Plus 1 in survival. I mean, Karen will be towards the front of the group, but probably not leading, because, you know.
Ildry will go first.
Okay. You get assistance, so roll with advantage. There are points during the time underground that you feel like you have maybe seen this particular part, this tunnel, this scratch, that huge claw mark before. You look at the hole in the ground, it disappears into blackness, and you think that maybe, yeah, in fact you have. But after some time, you see a pattern in the blue crystals forming at the side. They become more frequent. As you walk through the tunnel, you realise that the closer you get to the core of this place, the source of these crystals that emanate rippling electricity are bigger and more frequent. And using these as a guide, you manage to choose the right tunnels to get you through and open. And after some hours underground, you feel you sense ahead that a large opening is going out into a large open cavern. You get roll perception, Ildri, with advantage. Before you feel like you have alerted or awoken a beast that would slumber underground, one that you know is injured. You hear it breathing. It sounds somewhat laboured. The smell in the air is charged. It feels clean. It feels like it has had ripples of electricity pass through it all too often. And you listen to the noise of its breath falling and then up, rising. A pause.
Ildri kind of like comes to a stop and holds her hand up and puts her fingers to her lips. And then kind of glances over at Adri and taps her temple.
Okay. Adri will move further back away from the entrance, probably just sort of like a couple of minutes away to just get a little bit more distance, and then take 10 minutes to, again, ritual cast telepathic bond for the four of us. And I can actually do it to up to 8 creatures. There's 9 of us plus Sandbag. So should probably have maybe chatted with Gardain on the way.
Yeah, you could, yeah,
and just say, look, yeah, we can do this. We have this ability. Would you be willing? And so it'd be us 4 plus Gardain if he is willing.
Yep. And he takes every opportunity he can to be helped and assisted, so yes. All right. And so you reach the edge of this, bonded with your head and mind, your thoughts controlled somewhat on the force that you are about to face. Battle hardened though you are able to then still sense a great force. At one point it moves, it slumbers, and perhaps it's getting wind of you, or you're not sure. Could I get stealth rolls from all of you, please?
Oh dear. I suppose we could retrofit part of that trace.
The big clanky dwarves are gonna roll -4s.
I mean, I don't have spell slots for Pass Without Trace. That's why.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would have had it up. But I'm running seriously low on spell slots, and this is going to be bad all around, really.
Yeah.
And like, you can kind of feel that. Like, Ildry's not necessarily saying too much in her mind, but you can definitely feel the, oh shit, I'm running low on magical supplies.
Yeah, it looks like the dwarves aren't doing a huge amount better. Okay. Now I'm going to put you at the edge of this layer. You're at the bottom right. So you're not necessarily in this space, but you're in this, in the path before it. And inside the cave, you can see blue crystals in the ground sparking every so often, giving off what looks to be static electricity. And sometimes, every now and again, you see a big discharge, and then one of the electricity looks like it passes from one into the other, and it's on a set of tiered terraces, and at the terraces at the top, as they rise up and up and up, as you focus in a line at the top. You see the haunch back scales of the beast that you've been sent. It's just lying coiled around one of the terraces, stretched out, breathing, and every so often above its head, charges of electricity spin across the room, ripple between the crystals in the ground. You look around and you can see some elements of wealth, things that have been brought down here, but it looks decidedly sparse. And you know about dragons, you're seasoned adventurers. This is certainly defended and certainly it's home, but by no means does it look to be its final rest. Or something's not right. It's not lying in its treasures. It's there are some things that you spy, but it doesn't look at all like you had anticipated.
Gosh, I just think the others. This is either a trap, or this thing had to run very quickly to not bring it.
Hey, do we remember how... For the characters, it's only like 2 days ago. For us, it feels like a millennia. How did the fight between the blue and the white dragon that we saw go down?
Yeah, you saw the white dragon body slam this blue into the edge of a building and have its talons ripped right into his body in doing so, and it was about to rip its head off. At least that's what you had figured was going to happen, and the blue dragon managed to escape and roll down and slide down off the mountainside, much to the annoyance of the white.
It's probably quite badly hurt. Well, hurt enough for this to not potentially be a trap.
Ellen just quietly slides free his warhammer and battle axe. Ready to go after it.
Hildry's just staring out into the thing to see if she can see any other movement or anything else that might be lurking in there.
Okay, roll perception. The sparks, the light arcing between the crystals coming out of the ground to light up like a storm. But the roof itself is not so high in places that you can see that this looks like a work in progress. This looks to be carved. There are bits that are still hanging and still very rough. You get the sense that this is still a work in progress.
Karsat will think to the others, I already know what kind of lunch this will be. But shall I go out and speak to it? We might convince it to leave without a fight, and it might have information about our mission that's coming from the sea.
If you speak to it and convince it to leave, we don't get to fight it, right?
But it could point us to whatever made it have to leave the Sea of Dust, so a potentially even bigger fight.
But we fight that at the end anyway. I feel like we should do more fights.
No, we don't know if we'll fight if what we're chasing is what chased this out. We might get to fight our big fight at the end, add on a fight even bigger than this dragon.
What if it eats you?
It's even quickly, and it can't hurt me easily compared to everyone else but him, and I'll like tilt my head towards Kylon. You're safer from this than everyone else.
Alan just smiles and goes, I will come with you. I will help.
No. No thanks. You don't speak the required language.
Alan just smiles and like stands beside you.
Karsat will turn big eyes towards Ilchin and just go, please don't let him come with me.
I mean, while I'm not entirely on board with the idea that Karsat might be eaten, he probably does have a greater chance of success on his own.
Karsat also shrugs and goes, I can teleport.
Yeah. If you get eaten, just tell us, and then we can rush in. Kylon, you can get there faster than any of the rest of us. It's not like you could be that far behind. And then you get to splice it open and pull Karsat out from his guts. That sounds much more fun.
That does sound a lot of fun. We'll do that. Go get eaten, and then I'll pull you out his belly.
Karsat just gives you a weird look but doesn't contradict you at all, and starts stealthily, initially at least, moving away from the party so he puts distance between them before he calls out to the dragon.
Okay.
And I will reset all my abilities that let me get those stupid rolls against the white, so here's hoping.
So give me a stealth roll as you stealthily move to see if you get into the position that you wish to not draw attention to yourself.
Well, how far away from the dragon am I?
Not that far. As you walk in to the chamber proper, you're at the bottom. So you're about 100 foot away, roughly, give or take. 85, yeah. 90 foot.
Only like 30 feet away from my party then, and not in a straight line towards the dragon, kind of off at an angle from it.
Go on then, so move.
So that
Yeah.
lightning at me, it wouldn't also hit the party.
Good call. Move your token as you see fit.
So about here, once we're about 30 foot away from the party, I will use... What is it? This. So the actual effect won't do anything, but I'll essentially be doing a dragon roar. Which, if nothing else, will probably get me its attention.
Okay.
I'll follow that up, shouting out in Draconic. Peace, peace. I wish to speak.
You look up and observe an eyelid opening, revealing a large yellow eye. The head turns just ever so slightly, and as it lies upon its four legs, it says, "You come here into my home and ask for peace." His head turns a little bit more and raises up. Its snout turns towards you. "I, Calanthius of the Dust Sea, see before me a small, pitiful, insignificant being. Does it come to worship me?" Turns its head ever so slightly.
Karsat pops his chest out and speaks back, more imperiously than you would expect him to speak to a blue dragon. "I am Karsat of the line of Karsat of the Azure, the greatest blue dragon to have walked this world before. I come to you in peace to give you a chance to live, as you're already failing against your current foe. I seek to assist you so that you may live, and you do not have to die after chased out from another layer. I assume this one is new, being pushed from where you had rested before. I'll also crackle with lightning as I say that, essentially using my draconic fist ability without actually punching anything, but I've got lightning now crackling around my arm.
It observes you. Karsat was a fool. You do well to find yourself in my presence. What do you know of my predicament in any case? You.
I know.
He stares at you. I think at this point we need some sort of roll.
Sure, what do you want me to roll?
What are you trying? You're definitely trying to persuade. You're not trying to intimidate, aren't you? You feel...
Yeah, regardless of the fact he's not really taking shit from this thing, he's not trying to threaten it. He's trying to basically get...
You're trying to match its, what you assume, giant, monstrous ego. Okay, so yes, persuasion rolls are in order.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You know what? I'm not going to re-roll that.
If I were less charitable, I would think that you came here in an attempt to threaten me. Is that the case, my little blue Karsat worshipper?
It is not. I've been sent here to deal with what is causing problems within the Dust Sea. Dealing with that would seem to help you and allow you to return home instead of skulking under a White's mountain.
Do not speak of such place. That is my view. That is my place. It will soon be mine.
I've seen your battle. Any information you can grant of the Dust Sea will allow us to clear the problem fast. Once the problem is cleared, return to your previous domain.
You dare assume that I, Calanthius of the Dust Sea, are incapable of doing so. I choose to be here. I have my eyes on a greater prize.
Your title suggests otherwise. Why would the one of the Dust Sea leave the Dust Sea?
This is the edge of my territory. Up there. That is an interesting place, yes? The dwarfs, yes.
What use does a dragon have for dwarf?
Do they not speak of the magic they covet? You go ill-prepared, yes. Perhaps I should let you go. And that way, you will be out of here, and I will be continuing my own quest. Adventurers, worshippers, whatever you bring here, I have no need
My home is in the Dust Sea. I will return there in my own time.
So nothing in the Dust Sea has led to you for this? Nothing has pushed out a great blue to have to scrap with a white?
It defends something of immense value. Had you used your brain, as small and insignificant as it is, I'm sure you could have worked out what. But no worries. You enter through the dust. It would be interesting to see how you fare. Perhaps the winds will strip all of those scales from your bones.
The wind? Think the winds can harm me? So far, all your threats appear to have been empty. Claim to be a great dragon. I am used to Karsat the Azura spoken. You do not compare. You threaten me with wind. Karsat will use his storm typing again and just take control of all the wind in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Push it towards the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Wind and storm are no threat to me. All your threats seem empty, all your boasts seem idle. Do you have any information worthy of departing? Or are you going to hide under your mountain? I say yours. You've yet to claim it from the white, have you?
I think we've moved into intimidation now. I'd like to see how this roll goes. Please, roll.
Oh crap, I'm not proficient in intimidation. Hold on. Give me a second. I've got a bunch of weird things that give me...
And here comes the bullshit.
Yep.
Also, don't you have inspiration?
I do actually. I've got inspiration as well, so I've got about 4 different rerolls for this. So I'll use my inspiration first. No. I have magical guidance. Oh, come on! Right, I've got one more thing, which is my dragon ability that is hidden. Under Dragon Disciple for Draconic Presence, Intimidation, and Persuasion checks.
And there he goes.
Oh, I love this so much.
He looks at you, begins to climb up onto his feet, and as he does so, you see a large gash in his scales, rippling from the top of his shoulder down through his thigh, and down. You can see that it's healed, but you notice that he's taken quite a large strike.
Information is it you seek? Why should I not just stride down there and gobble all of you up in one tasty bite?
In your current state, you're barely capable of going down a boar.
I am capable of more than you can think.
And as he does that, you see lightning arc across in front of him from one of the stones to the other. And the dust from the roof begins to fall down ever so slightly.
Karsat responds in kind. He'll use his wings unfurled ability, which is step the wind, so for the hell of it, I'll take the disengage action because that's part of it. But he'll arc his body will arc with lightning this time as well, but now he'll also have a pair of spectral wings that'll flare out from behind his back.
The dragon, Clantius, takes a step down, and you can detect. Well, give me a perception roll as you watch him and observe him taking a step towards you.
Hey!
Yeah, you can see that he's got his front right leg is not bearing the necessary weight, and you can see that it's despite him trying to counter it as he steps down and over the rocks towards you. He is looking injured and he's looking slightly out of shape. There's a bit of pain, perhaps, just ever so slightly. But he's doing a very good job at masking it, so you're not entirely. Yeah, you know he's still exceptionally dangerous. Yeah, he puts his snout up in the air again. He says,
Bring your army out, so I can have you all bow before me.
You consider this an army, your standards are lower than I believe.
and he takes another step down.
If you believe this is an army, you truly feel that threatened? A handful of mortals that come before you.
Yes. Bring them all to me, so they may worship in my presence. Perhaps there is use for one like you as a leader of the smallest of small people.
And you can see him sniffing into the air as the currents that you're controlling.
Come out!
And he bellows, and as he roars, more dust falls down from the ceiling.
Karsat will just grin. You just go, you say you knew of Karsat the Azure, correct?
He was easy to deceive. When one becomes so certain of their own abilities and their own position, it doesn't take much to topple them.
And as he's saying this, he's striding down the side towards you.
Karsat will match and watch over here. Do you know the reason Karsat the Azure sired my clan? Was to defend the territory against the threats and destroy them. And do you know the greatest threat to a dragon? Other dragon.
Yes.
Do you really think I don't know how to fight you? You really think you will survive this fight? You can give us the information we require, and you can hide in your hole while we clear the sea of dust.
I'm not hiding!
And as he slams that, more arcs of electricity behind him, and there's a slight rumble that you all sense.
Bring out those that you feel are not an army. I will judge you all.
He takes another step down, and he's now right in your nose.
Gosh, I'll just think to the rest. Well, I tried, but they've crossed the line. Karsat will just take a step forward. Bonus action, Mind Sliver, then punch them with a stunning strike.
Okay, roll initiative. Oh, I'll bring the set your token and roll initiative.
I'm on 3. Should have insulted my dragon cry. Like the one guaranteed way I'm going to punch you. So close, buddy. So close. You'll beat me one day.
Right, 5 an advantage, but I still can't get double. Can I actually?
Well, it's like the one thing we're even on, mate. One thing.
But I have advantage.
Why?
You'd think one time I could beat you.
Why do you think I rolled twice? I can't work out the inbuilt advantage. Probably fretting the dwarves are going last. So I can give you all the metal heads up on, I'm about to punch this thing, let's go.
Okay.
Good to go?
Yep. Let's do it.
Lovely. So, first thing, I will quicken spell Mind Sliver, so bonus action, DC 17 intelligence.
I am gonna save. Just gonna save very quickly. Hang on a minute. Okay, roll the 20, and what I'll do is drop these into chat. There we go. Putting these into Discord as well, just so you can see them. I'd have to do some magic. Okay, so succeeds against your Mind Sliver.
Oh, you're not as foolish as I thought. Then Karsat will just proceed to punch them twice. And this, if he does hit, this will not be using lightning damage. That'll miss. And a 16 will miss as well.
Okay. So you take that first attempt, and nothing happens of note. You note how big this dragon is and how small your fists are. Kylon.
Kylon is going to fucking just grin to start with. We're then going to enter Blade Song. And seeing as we can move up to the dragon, we shall. At a full sprint, just kind of shout and say hello to the army. And we shall go sword burst. So a dex saving throw from it, please.
Makes it with a 17.
So we'll try hit it with a warhammer.
You miss.
18 hit.
Does not hit.
Misses. God damn it. Okay, that'll do for now.
Okay. Ildre. Before Ildre, apologies. I thought you were higher up in initiative. You're only 17. Just before this happens, I would like you all in the tunnel, please, to make a dexterity saving throw as the tunnel above you collapses. Okay. Let's see how the dwarves fare. You all managed to get shy and run into the space. Oh wow, the dwarves actually looked like they were ready to spring. Wow, my goodness. Every one of them. So you are now all in and out the tunnel to avoid the collapsed ceiling. The dwarves charge forward into the space. Either that or you're buried. So you're now at the edge of the tunnel mouth and not under the rocks. Okay. Ildre.
I would like to. Sorry, summon Draconic Spirit. Which means that I now actually have a stat block that probably needs to be used.
Okay.
And I would like to summon it above the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically, I'm just going to tell it to, I'm going to go chromatic, dragon, yeah. And it basically, I'm going to order it to attack. With, I think, Ren.
Okay. Let me give you this. There we go. There you go. You should be able to control that draconic spirit now.
Sweet. Thank you. Actually, no, I think I'm going to order it to do the breath weapon thing. And we might make it fire damage.
Okay.
My DC is 18.
And you're firing this in a way so it won't take anybody else into
Yeah.
cone, 30-foot cone. Alright, yeah. So straight through it. Dex against your spell save DC. What's your spell save DC?
18.
18, okay. Okay. It rolls 18.
Okay. That also, too, is a 5th level spell. Its DC is actually 19, I believe.
Oh.
So it has a base level armor class of 14. Sorry, no, its AC is technically 19, not 14 that it says on the stat block sheet.
Ah, right, got you. Okay, we can edit that. Okay. Good to know. Okay. Right. There we go. AC 18. Right. We're good. So, Draconic Spirit. What does it look like, this Draconic Spirit?
It's basically just going to be a small red dragon
Okay.
that kind of has flames coming off it because Ildry is all about the fire.
Okay.
Also, that's supposed to be 19, but okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Good, 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 good. We shall make that amendment just as soon as 19. There we go. Bing. Right. Okay. LG, anything else from you?
Probably just gonna move maybe like here, I guess. And that's me.
Okay. Okay. So it takes the damage from your summoned weapon of choice. Okay. First blood to the draconic spirit.
Half. I think it takes like 6 or something. Because it only takes half. Didn't it pass its
What was the
dex save or
DC?
something? It was 18.
Oh yeah, I rolled 18. Yeah, sorry. Get my 19s and my 18s confused. Yeah, so it takes half. Okay, so 6 points. Great stuff. Ildry is leading the charge. The dwarves, speaking of charge, shout, roar, and variously run in the right direction. They know something about how these things work, and they intend to surround it as best they can, but they split up in doing so. They've got form with dragons. Adri.
So, Adri is... I'm just going to do figuring out her movement. So it'll be 10, 25. If I move her up to here, she got line of sight on the dragon? I'm assuming he's a bugger. Cool. So going up and around, that gives her that. She is going to 3 Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Straight into it.
Right, 2 hits.
Up to hit. Cool. Alrighty. So first one, I'll get Genie's Wrath added to it. And so that's 5 Thunder, 13 Force. And the second one, 10. I unticked that. Ignore the 5 Thunder on the second one.
Yep.
So yeah, 5 Thunder and 23 Force. And then, as her bonus action, just rereading it to double check it is bonus, she is going to take advantage of her special coat. Where Adri was with Erin on her shoulder, there are now suddenly a total of 4 ravens, near identical, who poof out in different directions. Each going 40 feet from where she is. If you want to tell me some form of tokenage, I can stick them roughly where they should be.
Okay. Right. So we need to have ravens of some description. Did I add?
Erin does have a token.
I've got this here. It's a swarm, but I can drop that anyway. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I've also got that. That's better. Right, there we go. Now, if I give you control of this... And how many? 4?
4, yeah. So 1 would be Erin and 3 would be the coat. I'll tell you which one is Erin, because that'll be important.
Yeah. There's Erin.
Cool. Excellent.
So you should be able to control those and move them.
I can move the top 2, but not the one to the right of Erin. I can move the others.
Okay.
Cool. So, Erin is actually only going to use about 20 foot of her movement because they were all centering from where Adri is. So Erin is going to be kind of down here-ish. One of them is going to pop over to there. And yeah, 40 feet there-ish. And final one is only going to go to about here because Adri is still squishy and a wuss. There you go. So Adri is not there. It is simply 4 ravens.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I've been waiting so long to use that coat.
Any more?
No, that is everything done for her.
Guardian's going to use his movement to climb. And then he's going to take a shot. And would you believe it? It pierces right into the pain point in its right leg. Lovely jubbly, well done. And yeah, I'll do. Okay. They've moved. They haven't. They're going to climb up the top. And finally, yeah, they're going to move a bit. Okay. Karsat, you're up.
So, Karsat, being aware he's royally pissed this thing off and is probably going to be a source of anger for a little while, he will move around it, so if it focuses on him, it hopefully won't get anyone else. He will cast the mirror image, and I will also bonus action patient defend. So it's got disadvantage to hit me. If it does hit me, I've got a fairly good chance of not being hit. That's my turn at the moment.
Okay.
Just throw some general taunts on it, which I can't think of at the moment. Let's assume Karsat's with you now.
Okay. Right then. Kylon?
Right. Have another dex save from it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it with the Warhammer, and then back hit it with the battle axe.
It has rolled a 13.
It fails, so it takes 13 force damage, and
What's
14 misses, but 20 hits, right?
Correct.
So that's another 11 slashing damage.
Okay. All right.
And Kylan is just grinning ear to ear.
Okay. You're just staying put there. All right. Karsat.
Hello.
Can you please make a dex saving throw? You dodge out of the way as a 5-foot bolt of lightning sparks between two of the crystals that you can see either side of you.
Karsat will just tilt his head and go, lightning? Really?
And Yeah. It does turn round to you first of all. It grins its giant, huge, toothy grin. The breath stinks over you, a cloud, and could you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Is this attempting to fear me?
Yes.
I've got advantage on saves against fear, which is handy. And a wisdom save, did you say?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Hey.
you had advantage. That's fine.
You're not as good at zero.
And then it's going to attempt to swipe you. So that's a 14, a 24.
Advantage as well, Troy.
Sorry, what?
Just in case use it with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, because
I'll take
you're.
it.
Yeah.
Sense.
Got you. So the first claw missed anyway. So the second one, yeah, it still hits.
So there's 24. I'll just use shield.
Okay. And then it bites you. So at disadvantage. Still hits you.
Yep, that still hits. Except I've got mirror image up, so I can see if it does hit.
Okay, yeah, roll for that.
It does not.
Okay, 27 points.
Destroy one of my illusions.
Each time a creature targets you, roll d20 when attack. You have 3 duplicates, 6 or higher. 10 plus your dex modifier. Okay.
Sorry, so is it for every time it makes an attack against me, or only when the attack's successful?
And the attack successful, please.
Yeah, each time it targets you with an attack during roll d20, if you, with 2 duplicates, duplicates AC. A duplicate can only be destroyed if by an attack that hits it. Yeah. Okay, so that's one of your duplicates down, and then. Yeah, okay. So it is going to turn round and it's going to attempt to use
Just quickly, I should have on my turn, if it's attacking the Draconic Spirit, I get to pick a resistance to it, and I'm going to pick lightning damage, which Ildry now also shares. That's part of this thing. I just forgot on my turn.
Okay. 90 foot. 90 foot. Yeah, so that definitely takes. And 5 foot wide. Okay, so you are hit. Gardain is hit. And Weird is hit. So could you, Ildry, could you make a dex saving throw, please? Okay, and then the two dwarves And how high up are your ravens? Adri.
Probably 15 foot.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough to be out the way. Okay. So you all failed. 12d10. As the giant lightning exhales from a breath, 53 points of damage, halved for Ildri, who's got resistance, but not so for the dwarves. And okay. Right. Gardane looks a bit pissed off by that. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Okay. Right. So yes, that is that. And also the okay. Right. Next up, turn order. Ildri, can you please start your turn and make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oosh.
You are frightened by this dragon, unless you have anything that ensures that you are not.
I don't think so, but hang. I have things against being charmed, but I don't have anything against frightened. Okay. I also need to make a con save to keep my draconic spirit thing up. And I'm going to burn my inspiration to do that. Better. Alright, so frightened, that means I just want to get away from this, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't willingly move closer to it. You don't have to actually run from it, but you can't get any closer. And you have disadvantage on any attack rolls while you're near it.
Does that count for my draconic spirit, because that is something else entirely?
Oh, well, yeah. That's operating on your turn, isn't it?
I think it operates directly after, but...
It is immune against being frightened, so yeah, you're okay.
Brilliant. Okay, well, Ildri is just going to scramble backwards and order the draconic spirit to breathe on it again, whilst also flying up a little bit out of range. And it's going to be fire.
Okay. Okay, so we're making a dex save against your spell save.
Which is 18.
And it rolls 16, so it takes the damage.
Yeah. And I guess I'm... How far back can I move to get away from it? Like, am I climbing up those things? What's the deal there?
Yeah, you can walk around. Hang on, if I move the cave entrance out of the way, you'll see.
Yeah, okay, so Ildri's gonna move all this way.
Yeah.
And also Draconic Spirit is going to move kind of up there, out of the way. It's
Okay.
gonna be directly. I think it's got like 60 feet of movement, and it's going to take all of it.
At the end of your turn, it's going
Once
to take...
it's done its breath weapon-y attack.
Yeah. It's going to make a tail attack on Kylon. $15.
This is.
Okay. Okay, LJ, any more from you?
No, I'm done.
Okay, and these guys continue their charge. And they're running up to get close. Adri?
Alrighty, Adri. Which raven is she going? Whose location is she going to appear in? This one. So the ravens, I'm just going to move them over here because I might want them again, but they have disappeared, and she reappears in the space of the one that was up here as it was up in the air. She is going to bonus action flight again. So
before you do
again,
that, could you please make a wisdom saving throw against its frightful presence?
What if she wasn't looking at it?
Yeah, that's close. The teleport is fine because, you know, like you say, that's just being in one place and then another. But you're not actively moving. But when you start to fly,
yeah. So wisdom saving, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you are frightened, and as before, you cannot willingly move closer to it. You were fine for the teleport, but when you come out that teleport and then you look at it, and then you're just like, whoa, and you can't fly closer to it.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, she wasn't going to get close anyway because squishy. So she's bonus action flight, so she's got 10 minutes of flight, which allows her to hover as well. How close to this thing am I? Excellent. As my attack rolls that I have with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. In that case, I'll cast Bane.
Ooh.
Needs Charisma's save DC 18.
Okay.
I'm working on the assumption that even though I can target up to 3 creatures, so this isn't something I can target one creature 3 times.
Definitely should be.
I said that was the assumption that I made. It's not me asking, stating I'm assuming it's not possible.
Up to 3 creatures. It separates each individual creature. So there has to be separate creatures. There has to be multiple creatures, not one. Yeah, but I like it. It's good. It fails. So it's going to use one of its legendary resistances to turn that fail into a success.
Yeah. Bastard.
Okay, and I'll just record that. Okay. I know that's weird. The sheet. Thank you very much. What's happening? Roll 20. Okay, fine. I don't know. All right. Well, I make a mess of the dragon sheet. Any more from you, Adri?
Last thing she is gonna do is just move herself a little bit so she is not in immediate straight line with anyone else from the dragon. And that's her done. Oh, Erin. I'm going to say if we do Erin on her turn as well, Erin is just going to kind of stay in that sort of vicinity, but as a familiar cannot attack, so is just kind of there to skulk.
Okay, and at the end of your turn it's going to use the second of its legendary actions, and it will again use its tail attack to try to smack Kylon.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. I am rolling well. Love it. Right. So that didn't do any good, so that's the second of its 3 this turn. Gardain continues to fire. With the heavy crossbow. Misses. And these guys try their best to climb up, so we'll just give them a little bit of movement. This one is frightened. Weird. Can't get close to it. And hasn't got anything ranged, so is pretty much out. Oh, but gets to make a save at the end of his... Nope. Okay, roll a 16. Karsat.
So Karsat will see if he can actually land a punch. God damn my rolls. Another punch.
It's better.
Why am I cursed tonight? This is goddamn ridiculous. Screw it. Bonus action. Thank God. That was getting ridiculous. Well, bugger. And I'll make that fire damage for fun. And I'll use a key point, flurry of blows, and punch it one more time. That misses, doesn't it?
That misses, yeah.
My rolls are terrible tonight.
And at the end...
Here as well, just so make sure there's not a direct line between me and anyone else.
You're immune to the frightful presence. Did we get Kylan to roll? I think we might have missed that last time. No, I didn't do it until his. So this is the first time, yeah. So you're immune to frightful presence, but you rolled for it. And then, Kylan, you're the last person to roll for it. But before that, at the end of Karsat's turn, it's going to do... let's see, 1, 2... Yeah. It's going to do... it's going to stand back on its and flap its wings, beating the wings. So everybody that's up there next to the dragon needs to make a dexterity saving throw. And yeah, you all, so Kylon, Karsat, the two dwarfs, and the draconic spirit all need to make dex saves. Okay. Okay. So, Karsat, you get knocked prone, and you take 2d6. Hang on, that'd be easier if I just type it. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sorry, is this a fall damage thing or is it different?
It's you've been knocked you take the damage from the beat of the wing, and then you get knocked prone. So it's just the it's the it's the wing attack that does the damage.
So would evasion do anything if it's an area of effect Dex?
Yeah, I guess it will. Because it affects anything. Let's see, evasion. Yeah, half damage for you. So 7 points of damage.
So you're not prone?
And then you're not prone. And then it is going to, as part of that, beat of the wings, it's going to fly over Kylon and the Draconic Spirit towards Adri. Okay, so that keeps
Was I
it.
get attack opportunity at all? Sorry, or was it?
Yeah, you're prone, so I'll give you an attack at disadvantage if you want to make that.
Even when I've technically saved because of evasion?
You reduced the damage, but you fell, so you're still prone. So yeah, make a attack of opportunity at disadvantage. Maybe kick it or something as it flies out your way. Okay. Right. So that was the end of Karsat's turn, wasn't it? And so Kylon, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me at any point if I get turn order wrong for the next 5 minutes.
Okay. It's starting to make me a bit angry. So let's go all out. We're gonna rage.
We were talking about this earlier. The ability to rage whilst under. Yeah, anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so okay, so we'll swing with this is going to be reckless attacks.
Okay. So attacks against you are at advantage.
Yeah, but I also get advantage. Swing with the Warhammer. And because I'm raging, this gets a lovely boost to damage. And then we shall swing with the battle axe.
Yeah.
Again. And that's us for this turn.
Okay. And that's us on turn 20. Oh, we need to get... We never got you to make your Frightful Presence save.
Can you be feared if you're raging?
Well, this would have been before, but my fault, so... Let's just make the roll, see what we could have had. Yeah, okay, my fault. So, yeah, interesting. So we'll carry it. We're not retconning anything. And you will please make a Dex save as... hang on a minute. There we go. Yeah, could you please make a Constitution saving throw as a cloud of sand swirls in a 20-foot radius very close to you. It doesn't, I don't think, catch anybody. Let me just quickly check to see who it gets. Radius. Oh, no, actually, it's quite a lot of people. Okay, I would like Kylon, Karsat, and 3 dwarves, please, to all make Constitution saving throw as a cloud of sand begins to swirl up around you. Karsat passes. Kylon, do you get these at advantage?
Yeah, I'm just checking. I feel there's something somewhere. I have so many things. Which one is it? Concentration, no. We'll just roll a normal con save for now. God damn it, that was a terrible roll.
Okay. What are we saying about rage? Does it give you con? It's only strength checks and saving throws. Okay. So you...
Yeah, I feel it's somewhere else, but I can't remember where.
Okay.
I can't find it at the moment, so we'll go with that.
As you get enveloped by the cloud of sand swirling around, you are now blinded.
Rude.
And that makes you unable to see what you are fighting. Okay, and on that note, the sand begins to form at the point it cast, and it takes a shape recognizable as one of the defenders of the dragon makes its approach through the swirling sand. It begins to form. Okay. That's the end of its lair action. Ildri.
Cool. Do I get to make another wisdom saving throw against Frightened, or...?
Yes, you do at the end of your turn. Yep, at the end of your turn.
Okay. Cool. I would like to summon Jara. But I can't move towards it. Alright, I would like to summon Jara, say, directly in front of me, sort of level with that dwarf, but not actually next to him, because that would be bad for him. So that's my bonus action. I am going to order the Draconic Spirit to attack. I think that's an action. And it basically is going to fly down. And apparently it gets multi-attack. I didn't realize this, but apparently it does.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Which means that it's going to make 2 rend attacks and its breath weapon directly at it.
Okay, so the 2 attacks don't phase it, don't hit. And the 16 that it rolls means that it fails and takes the 8 damage.
And then it's going to... I don't know how much movement it has left. But, yeah, maybe it'll just, like, perch itself on its back, sitting on its shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. It literally just lands and kind of sinks down, sits on its shoulder, behind its head.
Yeah. Okay. At the end of your turn, LG, it has your wisdom save to see if you're still... There you go, that's a success, 28, nice. And then it's going to make a tail attack at advantage against Kylon as one of its legendary actions for this turn. 29 is a hit. Surely.
Can't shield.
What is the definition of shield, actually?
Well, you can cast spells when you're raging, can you?
No, I can't. Can't shield. But yes, that is a hit.
16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Because I'm raging.
Yep. Okay.
Wonderful.
And now it's its turn. And it's going to reach down towards you. And it's going to make 3 attacks at advantage against you. 29 to hit. 28 to hit.
Yes.
And a bite. 30 to hit.
It's all very rude.
The first claw attack does 15 slashing damage, half to 7. The second claw attack does the same. And the bite attack does 17 halved to 8. So 22, no, 7, 8, 15 points of damage. No, 7 and 7 is 14 plus 8, 22 points of damage.
Okay, right, I'm at very health. I'm also resistant to lightning.
Okay, so 721.
Yeah.
Because at that point it just halves into nothingness. Okay. And having made those attacks, that is the... Oh, I know what I need to do. Hang on. No. Okay. Gardain basically smacks with a heavy crossbow and he hits. 9 points. Okay, and we're past 1 o'clock, guys. So, will we finish this round and then call it there? Okay.
Sounds good.
Adri. Oh, at the end of... no, I'll keep it to players. It's fine. Not use the NPCs. Adri, your turn.
You saved the special fear just for us, right? Right, so... Adri is... Do I need to do a wisdom saving throw to see if I'm still frightened?
At the end of your turn, yeah.
End of turn. Okay, cool. So she is going to move a bit to there. So flight obviously still in effect. And she is going to cast Mind Sliver at it. If I can remember where it is on my sheet. So that is DC 18 to save.
Intelligence.
Yes.
Roll a 14. And I will use another of its legendary resistances to succeed. What level? Oh, wait a minute, no. What level are we casting that at?
It's cantrip.
Ah, okay. It'll take the damage. What's the damage?
Oh, can it not use its legendary against a cantrip?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I remember what this one is. This is the one it does. No, it does use it. No, it does. Because it's not just the damage, is it? It's also the other thing it does. So, yeah. No, it can. Yeah. It can use it when it fails. So, I'll use that. Yeah. I forget it's not just this. It's not the damage that's the problem with that spell. It's the -4 to everything that comes with it. Yeah. Okay.
That's not the spell.
So,
No,
yeah.
it's just damage.
It succeeds.
Okay, and then she is going to... Bonus action, use the coat again. So this time... Can I do the wisdom save before I say where the ravens are going?
It has to be the end of your turn, so you would have to...
Bollocks. In that case, she's not going to bonus action use the coat, because she needs to be able to move closer to it to do what I was going to do. So she's going to bonus action swear in every one of the numeric languages that she knows about this fucking bastard dragon and how she'd much rather have stayed at the library.
Okay. At the end of your turn, one of its legendary actions is to attack with the tail to its blue Kylon character with a
It misses.
a 22 and it misses, yeah. Okay.
And Andre's wisdom save.
It's a fail still.
Balls.
Okay. Now we have the blinded and feared, so they don't know what's going on. Roll a d8. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walks. Oh, it doesn't fall down the cliff, so that's good. But stumbles off in completely the wrong direction. And likewise, 3, 1, 2, oh yeah, it walks across there, it's fine. Oh, unfortunately stumbles into, oh, that's a shame. Right, okay. Climby, and then attack. Vistra knows what's going to happen here. She rolls in with the attack, not at advantage, rolls a 10, misses completely. She's weak from being so damaged, but does get another shot at that. So let's see, on the left there, 22 with a hit. Vistra does 8 points of damage. Okay. I'm scared, and it's probably fine. Okay. Next up, the air. Oh no, it's the beginning of a new round, right? So we'll call it there. We're at the beginning of a new round, and we'll start at the top of the round with the air elemental next week.